is time. All right. I've got 6:30, so we'll go ahead and call this meeting to order. This is the April 22nd, 2024 meeting of the Merrimack Conservation Commission. So we have, let's see, we have no public hearings scheduled tonight, so we'll go straight into new business. I know Andy won't be here tonight. Danielle won't be here. So that brings us to new business. So I'll read the first item. The first item is a review of a shoreline permit application from Gleason Company LLC. The project proposes to construct an 8,500 square foot light manufacturing office building and associated site improvements. The project proposes to leave a majority of the existing site as is, only disturbing locations in proximity to the new and proposed manufacturing and associated parking area. The proposed areas of disturbance are entirely outside the 50-foot waterfront buffer for the Merrimack River. The parcel is located at 63 Turbine Way, tax map 5D-1, lot 005-01. Okay, so this is we won't have someone here to present on this tonight. This is a standard dredge and fill permit. In our packets, we had the information from New Hampshire DES, so they've given their consent for this project to pursue this path and move forward. Basically, I think everyone knows what we do with this is if we have a reason where we want to delay this project, this is our time, our opportunity to do that. Otherwise, this won't come before us again. We don't need to send anything to the planning board or any other town board unless we have some problem with something in the proposal. We also had in the packet, it showed the pre and post numbers. I know we generally focus on that. I did print those off separately. I mean, it showed declines in all the post numbers.
They're gonna build an additional building down there?
An additional 8,500 square foot roughly building.
And so the existing buildings are staying put? That's a big empty building to begin with.
Is it a big empty building? I'm not familiar with the.
Yeah, it's across from Shaw's, you go down that hill?
Have we discussed this property before?
I do not think so.
I don't believe so.
It was on the agenda for a January meeting, and that was withdrawn because there was no one to present it.
Oh, okay. I think I may have looked at it at that time.
And I do know it's been before the planning board. At least once.
Did anyone read through it and feel like they had concerns or?
I didn't have any concerns when I read through it in January. We did get an email that something that we were looking at today had already been through because we had canceled a meeting and missed the deadline. I didn't know if it was this.
Oh.
I don't remember when I checked that email. It may have been like last night. Or it may have been Friday.
Yeah, it may have been this one. Even if it was, I mean, if someone had a significant concern, we could certainly raise that concern. We may have missed the deadline, but I'm not seeing anyone
No.
with a concern. Okay. Well, let's keep moving on then. Next item under new business is sign ideas for the Scalar waterfront property. This was submitted by Danielle. She didn't feel great tonight, so she's not here. I did reach out to the town. We've talked about this previously, or certainly talked about the need for a sign at Scalar. What I did do is I reached out to the town about, there's a pump station, right before you take the right. That's a town-owned parcel. It's a small one, but it's a pump station there. And I just asked how we would go about placing a sign on that town-owned parcel, because that's really the only appropriate place. The entrance to Scalar.
You have to get all the way down there before you know where the entrance
Yeah,
is.
yeah. So, as you approach that, before you take that right turn, that's where a sign could go. So the town's recommendation, they kind of outlined for me, there's a couple steps. I don't think it's the type of thing we would have to go before the town council to get approval for. I think there's a pathway to do this, but what we would need to do first is draw, have a design. The town thought it would probably be most tasteful to have a wooden sign. Draw a design to include the dimensions of what size that would be. Put a stake in the ground, specifically where we would like to place that sign. And then, then the town manager and the DPW director could help us get the approval
So they
to
want a
do
wooden
that.
sign, like, so like the kiosk type of wooden? Like-
We told them we would come
or
up
the
with a
ones that are-
design.
The ones that are behind the extra bathrooms there at the middle school that never got put up. At the bottom of the hill, when you go onto the sports field,
Yeah,
the buildings right there?
yeah,
If you walk just before you go up the field, look back, there's the two
really.
spray of wood
was
signs that
there.
were never put up.
I was there yesterday. I didn't see those.
I see them every time,
Yep,
and
they're just sitting there rotting. They've been sitting there for
Yeah.
8 years.
with an authorization to put them,
Were we expecting the town to put them up, or?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't ask the town about whether they would put these up. I just said I was interested in what the pathway to get
I'm not gonna dig around
approval.
the pump station.
No. It
No.
could be,
No, well, I think that we'd have to have them come
Yeah.
in and poke a hole for us and tell us exactly where you want it, and
yeah.
I don't wanna be digging around a pump station.
I think we're,
I think that would be a bad.
before we even get to that, I thought, Danielle said she did say she was gonna work on drawing this. I don't think we really can do anything with this item tonight,
We have, okay, I can.
unless we have a
Yeah,
design.
no, I'm saying, we have kind of the standard kiosk design,
Mm-hmm.
like for wording and font and everything. We can certainly give that to her if it's,
I think that would probably be too big. If you're talking about the kind of signs we have in front of other areas, like Horse Hill and Wildcat Falls and such, and Wasserman, I guess.
you mean like whole,
But-
I don't mean the whole kiosk, what I'm saying, but there was a font, there was
Okay.
a style.
But this would be a small 2 or 3 foot something
Yeah,
with
more like
Sklar
a-
Waterfront Park and an arrow.
Yeah, more like a street sign, I guess. Would be
Okay.
is that, I'm assuming that's what she's
I
looking
don't
at.
know
I
what
think
I thought the intent was just a sign that said Scholar Waterfront Park and had an arrow. Maybe
Yeah,
it was more than
that's
that.
the idea, and,
Okay.
I know we talked about having it match the other parks with brown with yellow white writing.
Mhm.
Maybe she took that into account.
Yeah, so I guess we'll move this to other business and put it on the next agenda.
Yeah,
Let's see what the,
we can dig up the sign information we have in the past and see if it's something she can use. Fonts and stuff, that's easy.
moving on. Discussion and vote regarding trail markers and no authorized vehicle sign purchase and delivery. Total expenditure amount of $3,750. Tom's done some research on this and want to tell us what you found?
Yeah, that figure, $3,750 is, that incorporates, first of all, the written quote that this guy gave me, he gave me a quote over the phone, I think it was last Thursday night, and then I got this quote that you have, Friday, for $4,035.60, and that incorporates, we're working on trail signs, trail markers, like these things, but that incorporates the trail markers and the signs, and he's saying the signs are 18 by 12. This is what we have had before. I'm doing a show and tell here. We've had this before, and I'm okay with this size. I think 18 by 12 is huge, and I think we have these out in Greater Woods. But my suggestion is just say no motorized vehicles and take out the word wheeled, because I think the RSA's now say snowmobiles, no, anything that runs on a gasoline engine, or even an electric engine. So, he's quoting me, or he's quoting us, I should say, $2,700, or $2,775.60. And I think that if I went back to him and said, this is what we would prefer, that I might get a better quote from him.
Mhm.
That's a standard. I know we have that in Wildcat Falls.
yeah.
And I actually have one or two of those still, I think, and maybe some boundary markers and a whole box full of the triangular
Oh, you
and,
do?
and circular blazes. I got
Okay.
them from Matt some time ago, and
Okay.
they're still sitting in my garage.
Oh, I've been looking for them, and
Oh.
I got a whole huge box of material, but they're not this and they're not this. They're just bright orange
The orange
square.
squares, yeah.
Yeah.
Did
And
you get
now
those from Mike?
I got those from George Theodoros, who was the outgoing chair of the SCLAR committee.
So those two you showed, the blue triangle and the red circle, are the standardized markers. They're
Right.
two of, I think, the four they have.
Right.
We use them in Wildcat Falls, but we do not use them for their recognized standardized purpose. We use them because we have a blue trail and a red trail on the map.
Okay, I think that may be the case with Greater Woods too, just
No.
coordinate.
Greater
No?
Woods was signed for their actual use.
Okay,
So
Okay.
that's why we should go back and pull the white ones down, because those were motorized trails.
okay. Are there still white ones out there? I don't even, okay.
And also as a detail, we're required to use aluminum nails to put those up.
Yes,
Yep.
right.
I have a partial box of those too.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. It's about, they come like 450 in a box. It's about $8 a box.
Yeah, we were just buying them by
They're
the
easy.
pound.
Oh, by the pound. Where do you get them from?
We bought them originally from Reed's Ferry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, okay. Anyway, so this same company, Classic Signs, which is local, they're in Amherst, they quoted me, the material they're using for their quote is not this, it's this. And,
Isn't that the same as,
yeah, this is a little bit, I think this
yeah,
is
it's
a little bit thicker.
but
Yeah, the same as this. And he said that he would drill the holes through them, which is a big deal because
Yeah.
otherwise
Mhm.
we wouldn't be able to use them. He was very, 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 he wanted to sell me these things. And obviously he would do it as both the circle and the triangle, and he would give, he would give me the colors that we are looking for. So that's what that quote is all about. That's the quote that goes for $1,260.
I will also comment that the original ones of the blue triangle and red circle, made out of that polypropylene or whatever plastic, have very marginal long-term stability.
Yeah.
Probably 30% of the ones in Wildcat Falls are down after 5 years.
That's what the material is.
Yeah, the old cheap plastic ones. That's
Okay.
why he wanted the sturdier
And
ones.
so that is the, I'm sorry to interrupt. That's the work I did with Classic Signs. But then I got in touch with another company. There's someplace in, where is it? They're,
New York, Manlius.
yeah, Manlius, New York. And I don't know how they got the 26 Handsome Drive, because I don't live there. And I know it's not I don't know where that address came from. But anyway, you do?
see any Powell's address?
Oh, is it? How did they get that?
No idea.
Okay. All right, so I contacted them. The reason I contacted them, we had mentioned in the last meeting, or whenever we talked about this, we had mentioned that we were looking for, maybe we could contact other conservation commissions. And I happened to be doing a hike a couple of weeks ago on Crotched Mountain, and they had just replaced all of their trail markers. So I got in touch with, it's the Francistown Conservation Commission that does that work. So I got in touch with her, and she sent me to this Voss Signs. Voss Signs does not make anything either in this color or in this shape, and it's for both the circle and the triangle. They will do it as a special order. What they do have is they have this. It's thinner. It's not as durable, I think, as either this or.
Is it the same material, do we know?
It's the same material. It's just thinner. And this is I've learned a lot about, like, how signs get made. This is a .050 thickness, and I think those are maybe .070, so she's quoting me on .070. And so she's giving me, this sheet is a little bit confusing, because the bottom line says $1,225 and 50 cents. But she's quoting me two different things. She's quoting me on a quantity of 200, and the quantity for 200 comes to $628. So if we bought it quantities of 200, it would be $628. And she's also quoting me on a quantity of 250. It's a quantity priced item. So she gave me both. And the 250, I think, was $577.50, which is cheaper than the 200. Also, I did send her a yellow plastic thing like this, because I didn't know if we still use these. And I said, I don't want it this size, but I want it like cut in half, so it would be like 2 inches by 5 inches. So that is also part of this quote. So I don't know if what I just said confused you, because it took me a long time to get through this.
So have we determined the policy for which signs we're going to use? Are we going to go with the New Hampshire trail marking standards?
That I haven't looked into. I just figured that if we change anything, we have to change everything. So I was trying to get quotes for, we're not changing the signs, we're just putting up new signs that look like all the other signs.
Okay.
So that's my thinking, is rather than having to go through and tear them all down and put up new ones, we would just try to match what we already have.
So, for the sake of history, so we're all on the same page, these, the blue, the red, the yellow, these all came out, and we as a board, or as a commission, determined what they were gonna be, for, their sizes, everything. And that's how Greater Woods was marked, because that was the first property we marked. And that's how all the rest of the parcels are supposed to be marked going forward. Horse Hill already had in place a marking system, so we opted not to change it and leave it be, because it was already heavily used. But going forward, all the new parcels were supposed to be marked per the standard that we used. The same thing is going in Greater Woods. And that's where all these original shapes and colors came from.
That's helpful.
So we have a standard. I mean, obviously, we can change it, but we do have a standard.
We should follow it. Do we need something additional in order to distinguish different colored trails, though? Like, what do these,
Well, like the white rectangles were motorized trail. And
so what do each of the other ones?
right, so that's what I'm saying. So each one of them has, the blue was walking only, I think the green, or the red circle was bike,
Mountain bikes.
mountain bikes. So it was kind of a hierarchical, I can't say it. Thing, like, you could do anything on any of them, but the highest one was, okay, well, this one can support motorbikes. So you could do all the rest of it up to motorbikes. And regular, mountain bikes, you could do everything else up to mountain bikes. So it just got progressively,
So is
more
that what
restrictive.
Sklar wants these for, or is Sklar wanting these to use just to distinguish between different trail names?
I think that the designation for the use of the trails, it no longer seems to be a concerning factor, because when I'm out there, I see mountain bikes on red trails, I see them on blue trails. They're not doing any harm in either way. I think that now it's just a matter of this blue sign says I'm on this trail, and this red sign says I'm on this trail. And I think that's the only purpose they serve now.
Right, so
And
they
that's,
really just
that's what Wildcat Falls does. We have a
Yeah.
red trail and a blue trail.
Yeah,
And not many people really sort of adopted or understand that, statewide standard about designations for use, but we do mark which
Right.
trails on the map are usable for what. When there are limitations. I'm not sure a lot of our properties have
well,
limitations.
that's what I'm saying. We have no enforcement abilities.
Yeah.
We can go stop somebody and tell them, and they can oh, thanks,
Yeah, they can
ignore and go about their business, so. It was only for us to be able to go back to the, community development is our enforcement arm. We can go to them, they go to the police. That's how it's supposed to get, that's how the path is supposed to happen.
So I don't know where we are here. I'm gonna tell you right now that if we acted on anything tonight, I'm leaving tomorrow, and I won't be back until May 6th, so nothing is gonna get done until at least the beginning of May. So I'm just wondering if we could just, like, put it off until the May 13th meeting, and then maybe try to resolve it then, because this is, to me, this is a mess. I tried to do this as streamlined as I could, and I couldn't even understand myself.
I don't remember who it was that we purchased these things. Were you able to find out who we purchased all this stuff from in the past?
These came from, the red and the blue came from Classic Signs.
Really?
Because he had,
Okay.
he had it in his
All
files.
right,
He
yeah.
had because of it in his files. So I know that's where it came from.
Okay.
This one's class.
Yeah, there was a name, Matt, because Matt did all these things. He found it and,
You ordered
So-
them.
and ordered them, so, and we voted on him here. That was his project, so.
I agree with you about not needing a 12 by 18 sign.
Yeah, 12 by 18
That's
is,
big.
um,
How big is the sign we
this
have now?
this
Is
is
that
12
8
by
by 8?
18. I think 12, that's way too big for,
Yeah, that's like
I
8
think
by
that's
8.
Mm.
obtrusive. I think that's like maybe, it's no more than 12 by 12.
No, that's not 12.
So I would have to go back to him,
Mm-hmm.
Classic Signs, if that's who we decide to go with, and say,
It's 8
we
by
don't want 18 by 12, it's too big.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and you could pretty much, you know what that says. Especially if you ride a
Yeah.
motorized vehicle, you know what that says, because you've seen a lot of them.
And so is the plan then to put these up, not in the kiosks, but get some posts and put them
Correct.
nearby?
Correct. We're getting a lot of activity in Greater Woods, and I know where they're coming in. And we've tried to post signs there, but every place there's a trail junction, I think one of those signs needs to be up.
Mm-hmm.
Because one of the issues we face in Wildcat Falls in the kiosk is our kiosk has about 15 things attached to it. People don't even look at it anymore.
Too many
Yeah.
signs.
Right.
Too many signs.
Too many signs. So we've moved one or two of the more important signs over to the post on the road, which is about 10 or 15 feet from the kiosk. And they have to literally walk by it within a foot of it to get onto the trails.
Yeah, this is a small version of what Classic Signs made. And it says here, he's got the, like, help protect Merrimack Riverfront. I don't know where that came from, but he had this in his files. And I just lost train of my thought. I just lost my train of thought.
At the time, we were cautioned about putting the logo on things,
Okay.
that anytime we put a logo on, we have to go get it approved by town council. Just-
Yeah, he said he
just-
would, he
just
said
so
he
you
would
know.
put the logo on.
I mean, I don't think that'd be a big problem, but it stopped us from saying, okay, we need 500 more signs.
Interesting.
So, just. FYI.
Oh, I was gonna say, the last line
I
here
never wrote it.
says, police take notice. I don't know if we need that on because they don't.
Well,
And
no,
people know they
yeah.
don't.
We changed the bylaws. We
Mhm.
changed the town code. It's in the bylaws now. They can enforce it. They
Okay.
didn't enforce it before.
Mhm.
They had with no bylaw. We've said no motorized vehicles. It passed town. It's on 101.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't you work, you worked on that, didn't you, with Matt? With Tim? No,
Me, no.
everyone's gone. Gina?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, probably.
Well, thank you for getting this information.
Yeah.
I don't
Something
know
to
what we're
start
gonna
with.
do with it now. It's like I said, it's all over the place, and I'm not gonna I can't do anything with it for 2 weeks.
When's our meeting?
Is it May
May
13th?
13th, 3
Okay,
weeks.
can I make a suggestion for going forward?
Sure.
Please
All
do.
right, so I'd love to know what everybody's got. You said you've got signs.
I will
you've
take
got
an
signs.
inventory.
If we can kind of, I've got stuff, you wanna be point?
Sure.
Yeah, and
Okay,
it almost seems like
So-
we're duplicating effort here.
okay.
Yeah.
Could you kind of go through a quick email to Andrew with what you've got as far
Yep.
as hardware and signs and
Yep.
whatever? I'll do the same.
Okay,
We can kind of tabulate what we have. We can go down to community development, we can find out, where we purchased all this stuff in the past, because we probably have specs on it,
okay,
so at least we have a start.
okay.
We
And
can
I'll
get-
look-
we
and
can-
I'll go to community development and see we have a pile of miscellaneous signs, and I'll see what we've got there.
Have you checked our little storeroom in the men's
In
room?
the, I've just been to that place in the back with the file cabinets that
Okay.
is pretty much our office, and there's some stuff wedged up against the walls
There's
there.
the huge men's room down there that used to have a extra bunch of stuff stacked in it too.
And
'cause
I've
it was a
never had the
big-
pleasure.
All right, so we can check on that.
Uh,
I will
and-
we can get the map of Greater Woods that tells us what the colors are and the space, what the shapes and everything were. And so when we meet on the 13th, we'll have a whole package of everything that we've done in the past. So we know what we've got for it and make a
Okay.
decision from there.
Okay.
That's a great
And
idea.
as a question, is the plan to put these new signs and blazes on trees, posts, or a combination of both?
If you're gonna put them on posts, that's a lot of posts.
Yeah.
Yes.
I think.
The reason I
think-
mention that is if you put them on trees, this is something I learned at Wildcat
You
Falls.
gotta, don't
you-
hammer them in all the way.
Yeah, you need long
Right.
nails. You
Just
can't
tack-
get
just-
like the 1-inch nails.
Yeah.
Just tack them in a little bit.
Oh,
Because this is, you can see, this is
Yeah.
exactly what happens when you nail them in.
Yep.
This tree grew and pulled the screws
Yeah.
right through it.
A lot of the blazes at Wildcat Falls snapped
snap
because the
forward, yeah.
tree grew
Yeah.
far enough and, yeah.
Eric, you're so good.
yeah, and Eric's got all the
He's got-
the
he's got-
maps.
yeah, I got-
he's got his crap together.
I know, he's so organized.
That's a good way to.
But, Andy, we'll send you, if anyone's got signed stuff at their house, send it to Andy, send a
Yeah,
note to Andrew about what it is and what we have, so we can get a list.
thank you.
And we can get the stuff where we bought it in the past. We'll have
Okay, yeah.
pricing, we'll have everything, and
Right.
I understand the quantities.
Mhm.
And then we have, we can circulate the map for,
Good
looking
thing.
at it, so we have a good, we wanna stick to that standard.
Right.
It seems to me like classic signs is probably closer to being able to supply what we want. But both signs was, it was so much easier to work with both signs. They were incredibly
Yeah.
easy to work with, and classic signs was, I had to really like cajole and beg and.
And Vos Signs was willing to give, to supply us with everything we wanted, right? Classic Signs was.
Yeah, but not in the metal. It would be this material.
Yeah.
Plastic.
So, that's what we are.
I have a question on something that I think Gage brought up. You said there are white markers somewhere that we need to take down.
There were white markers in Greater Woods. I have taken, I think that's white, I think it was the white triangle. Do you have that on there? I think white triangle was the motorized.
White triangle on here just says point of interest.
Oh, what was the motorized one? What's the?
There's trail junction markers. Yeah, I don't see anything else on here that.
There is one that says motorized vehicles.
we don't
This
have
might be the older brochure.
Oh,
Oh, okay, well. I've taken down when I find them, because
Okay.
a lot of them are broken,
Okay,
so, but, yes, there are probably still some out there. We have to walk those trails specifically that were marked that initially.
can we or someone make a plan to do that?
We have a work day coming up
Okay,
eventually,
Mhm.
if we can get out there without it raining.
yeah.
It's been rained out twice, so we can add that to the list of
okay,
things to do.
sounds good.
Okay, so I'll add that to the agenda for May 13th. We'll send our inventories of what we have to Andrew, and we'll reconvene, talk about this on the 13th.
Okay,
Perfect.
okay.
And thank you, Tom, for doing all that
You're
research. Next item, Scholar Workday. And Karis, you're probably better prepared to talk about this item than I am. I do have some trash bags in my truck. I'll give them to you.
Oh, that's brilliant.
Yes, they're good
I'll
ones.
take that off my grocery list.
Yep.
I'm not sure what there's to say. I've posted multiple times. We have connected with Fidelity, and hopefully we'll have some volunteers there.
And you picked up the root tools and
Yes,
there's no
I
issues?
have them. I'm trying to find the time to try them out, make sure they figure out how they work, and
You're right up the road. You can come to my house and do
you
some
got some things
trials.
to pull out. Okay, I had a burning bush at my
You can
house.
go in
and
the
I'm
front
like, oh.
yard or the backyard.
We just did stump
It's too
grinding,
big.
but they won't handle that.
And what time is it, is people?
It's from 9 to noon. I bought granola bars. We have some bottled water too. We'll bring. And not much to say. We're hoping to. Wait, you said you're bringing the. Oh,
So
okay.
I am still trying to find somebody who has a truck. I have some tools and stuff I'm bringing down, and I have a little BMW which won't fit any of that stuff in it, so, and my wife has forbidden.
And you need this for the Sklar workday?
For the Sklar Work
I have a
Day.
truck, but
You won't be
You're
here.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm guessing of all the people going, somebody has a truck, because a third of the people in this town have trucks.
Danielle has a truck. I don't know if she's going.
Okay.
I hope so. I mean, I can offer the back of my van if it fits. Depends how tall it is.
Yeah. It might,
It might.
but I'll see if I can get a hold of Danielle.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, nothing else? Yeah, Karis, please don't let me forget to give you those trash bags.
Yeah.
May 11th is the seedling giveaway. What do we need to, is it, did we post, it? What times did we post it? Who put that online? Or Facebook? May not be.
I didn't put anything up yet
No.
this year.
Do you know, Karis, is that on our Facebook page?
Not yet.
And where is it being held? Is it at that orchard again, or?
Courier Orchard, yes.
Okay.
I meant to call him, have you?
I spoke to Jeff, I don't know, 8 months ago about this. So,
Let me, I'll make
so
a call. and
yeah,
just-
I can call. I haven't seen him talk to him for a bit, so I'll give him a call.
I
Um,
will not put anything up until we have
Yeah,
this
I
nailed
will,
down.
I will get the list of trees and such to you also. So I have not remade the flyer yet for this year.
Okay.
I'm certainly willing to give that up if someone wants to remake that flyer.
Mhm.
It's getting kind of boring looking at everyone seeing the same thing every year. so.
Why don't you send, I probably got it last year, but just, why don't you send it to me again? Karis, I would be pleased to share that with you, because that is what we used in the past to put on social media.
Yep, and that's
and
what
to-
I saw in the past.
And to print up and put
Did you like
in
it?
place.
I mean, it was what it needed to be.
She was gentle with that answer.
We've gotten trees twice, so.
Yeah, send me the file,
Will do.
and or Karis, we'll get
Yep.
it.
Pickup, do you need help with the pickups?
The town sent, I'm not really exactly, I have to go back and find, I'm sure it's in my email, but the town has included delivery for the stuff from the state. So, I don't really, I have to go figure out where it's coming, because it's probably gonna come here.
Mhm.
And the other stuff is in Milford, so I can go pick that up. Actually, you did that, I think you did last
You
year.
did last year. Yeah, let me know if you need help.
Yep.
What time will this be? Because I've only been involved in this the last couple of years, and both times for different reasons. The end was kind of, like, one, we got rid of things early, and
Yeah.
another time, we weren't sure how long to go, so.
Yeah,
Um,
we've always started like 8, right? I think.
Is it, or is it
Did we-
9 to noon?
Did we start earlier? That
I
was-
remember we said we'd be there at 8 to set up, and it would open at 9, but it ended up being kind of like a yard sale with
Yeah,
early
yeah,
birds.
exactly. When
Yeah.
if people show up early.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
we ignore them for 45 minutes or so, while we set up.
Which is harder to do, because we used to do it
Yeah.
in the building.
Yeah, it was easier to do, because you could keep the
Yeah.
door locked.
It was like Black Friday when you opened that thing.
So I guess it's up, I mean, it's up to us, Jeff, whether we want to do it inside or outside. The outside has been
Mhm.
working.
Mm-hmm. And we can wait till that morning, see what the
Yeah.
weather is.
Yeah.
What were the hours that we've published previously? Was it 9 to 2?
I think it was-
9 to noon?
I think it was 9 to noon.
9
Yeah,
to noon.
9 to noon.
So
I'll make sure
I'll go
town posts.
I'll remake that flyer and send it out, and you guys can have at it, change what you want.
Okay.
But at least we'll have a flyer made.
Yeah, because we'll put it up wherever.
Yep. It's gonna
Anyone
take me
will
a
do
little bit to go figure out, there's been a number of orders and reorders and changes and
Mm-hmm.
trying to compensate for, oh, we're out of this, we're out of that, we're out of this, we're out of that. So it's gonna take a little bit to figure out what we actually are getting.
But I'm certainly able to help with pickup.
Yeah, okay.
if you
Well,
want.
thank you for wrangling all that.
Yeah.
Yeah, scrambling.
All right.
You have enough buckets? If you don't, let me know. I have plenty of buckets. Yeah, your buckets are also well maintained with little cloths in between them. All right, anything else we need to?
No, I think we're good.
All right, we'll keep moving. So, the town election, the article was approved, to change the, town charter to add the student rep.
I want to thank the voters of the town for doing that. The support was overwhelming, and that was good to see.
Yep, very happy about that.
But now it's probably not too soon to start kind of charting out how we want to, and I don't know, we haven't done this before. Who is the right point of contact at the town? Who do we start with?
Well, we're trying to get a student, so,
Mhm.
so we'd have to start with the school board.
Well, I see the school board in our packets has submitted a name.
Oh, they have?
Yes.
Why
dated-
doesn't my packet
This
include
is-
everything everyone
And-
else's packet?
And our subcommittee also talked with Mr. French, who's the science teacher there, because he had some interest in that also.
Biology teachers and science teachers are where we've got support from in the
Yeah.
back.
This was the packet that was emailed to us?
This is what I picked up tonight. I didn't.
I didn't get any of this in my.
This was not in the email, but it was in the paper, the physical handout.
Oh.
I don't remember seeing this in the email.
Yeah, this is brand new. This is a letter from Lori Peters, School Board Chair, dated April 18th, to the Town Council, recommending a sophomore at Merrimack High for the Conservation Commission. So,
Well,
once,
that's
what-
fantastic.
once the procedure, if we have already arranged a procedure, then the next step would be, what we had said before this passed was that if we did get this town charter amendment, it'd be a recommendation from the school board to the town council, and we'd be involved in an advisory thing, and the town council would make the appointment.
And this would be for voting or non-voting? Would it be 1 year at a time and
This
get a
would
new
be
student each
non-voting.
time?
Non-voting
Okay.
1 year. I don't think we put any stipulation that they could or could not be voted for a second
For a
term,
second. I don't think
second
they
one-year
either.
term, right?
Right, there was nothing to bar that.
Okay.
And while we're talking with the school board, several years ago, we engaged one of their students with several other helpers on a senior project at Wildcat Falls. And Merrimack High School requires a senior project, and like Eagle Scout projects, maybe this is something that we could tap into and get some interest in.
This is good news. It sounds like this email answered a lot of the things I thought we needed to talk about tonight.
So what we need to do is, I think, find out when the town council will be taking up this nomination.
Mm-hmm.
And one of us, I would think it might be appropriate for a member of the Conservation Commission to be at that council meeting.
So I think the format will probably be the same. They'll want to go through the appointment process, but there's three of us, at least two of us, that need to go through that appointment process again anyhow, because there are expiring terms, you and I. So maybe the town the appointment committee likes to do them all on the same night, if they can. I mean, they'll do as many as they want, but they have to, every commission in town has to. The appointment committee gets busy this time of year, so why don't I see if we can take this individual and schedule on the same night? I'll
Do
work
we-
with Becky and try to.
Do we
propose
have any
times.
communication from this person, like why they want to be part of this, or is this just a school board recommendation?
They would have made the inquiry to the school board, I believe. Because I believe the language of the charter amendment was the it started with the school district would recommend to the town council. How the school district gets the name was not,
Well, I was just saying, everyone else that we asked to join, we asked for a little, just a
Yeah.
short little paragraph of, why is this interesting to you? Why do you wanna join?
Yeah,
I mean, that might be, I'm
An
not
introduction.
gonna say no, but it might be worthwhile to
Yeah.
Yeah,
request
I
that.
would like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it might be
That's
worthwhile to
reasonable.
request that, saying, hey, what purpose? You trying to check a box, or are you
Mhm.
interested in the conservation of the town?
Mhm. Tell them about what we do.
And perhaps gauge interest in whether they're interested in becoming a member after they're done
Yeah.
with school.
Yeah.
Since this would be a one-year appointment, and it's based on, I guess, a school year, how would we work that schedule? Because the school board would need time to find a student, so we couldn't really do like September to September, because we may not get a nomination until, say, January. And if it's January to January, then they'd have the summer off and then be in the next grade, and they may be out of high school by then.
I'm looking for the, forgive me that I don't have this in front of me, I was looking for the amendment, but that had the date in there.
I
It
have
did?
it.
Yes.
Okay.
I just can't read it because it's too small.
You better glasses, huh?
Need a microscope to read
Yeah,
it.
you want these?
No, oh, it was the bolding part.
Yes.
One student representative would be recommended by the school board and appointed by the town council. This individual is not a voting member nor a member of quorum purposes, for quorum purposes. I'm not seeing a term anywhere.
Okay.
Did it even say 1 year or didn't? Did it?
No.
So
Well, we're gonna have to change our bylaws, I think.
Yeah,
to-
if that doesn't
to
define
accomplish
it
that, So we can.
in our
we can
bylaws.
define it in the bylaws.
But we should think about the
Which I think-
logistics
That's a
of
good- that's a great-
matching
that's a
Yeah.
the
great
term
point.
year to the school year.
That's a good point.
I mean, I thought they would probably like do this where they recommend it in the spring and then the student will
Mhm.
Start.
start in
Because
September.
our terms are June 30th to June 30th, correct?
Mhm.
So if they could recommend in the spring, then maybe they could start at the same term.
Yeah, that's
Although
a
I
good
don't
point.
wanna limit students who like do, I guess they don't have to be here every single week,
No.
every single meeting the way
Oh,
we
no.
don't
No.
have to.
But it might also be worth seeing if we could advertise a little bit in the school, saying that they're certainly welcome to come as members of the public to see what we do and what's going on.
All right, let me put this.
So as I understand it, the next step will be you, Steve, contacting the council about the nomination committee, okay? Or the-
Yes, Becky has sent something out. I meant to talk to her anyhow about scheduling the appointment committee.
Well, I'm real
interview.
excited that this
was-
came through and that we're gonna be able to do this
Yeah.
because the commission's been, this is something we've been mulling
Mhm.
over for a long time.
All right. Next item is vote to consider purchasing up to 20 metal dogway signs for the conservation properties. Signs are 12 by 18. In your packet. So this is something we've previously discussed. The town talked to me about who they use for sign purchases, and this is the company they use.
American flag.
I didn't spend a lot of time designing these. I simply, honestly, I took a picture of one that I found in Bedford that looked exactly like this, and they were, and I just removed the Bedford RSA code or statute from the bottom and asked them to quote these. $22 a piece is what they quoted. I also asked the town, for a recommendation
Are
in
these
terms
the
of.
metallized?
These are metal.
Yep.
Yep. Regular, standard,
Right.
looking stop sign, no parking sign. I asked for some guidance too, just, because we have received feedback mainly about Greater Woods, about, there used to be signs, people's dogs, people aren't cleaning up after the dogs. Perhaps some, residents have asked for some enhanced signing. I don't know if the right way to do it is on a post or to do it on the kiosk or to not do it at all, or do a combination of the post and the kiosk?
I'm willing to consider having posts in addition to kiosks. The kiosks have a lot of things in them now, including
Right.
at Forest Hill, the lighthearted approach to
Mhm.
As does Wildcat Falls.
And signs like this, it's perfectly appropriate to put them elsewhere because, as you know, we find stuff all through.
We have a
Mhm.
big problem in Wildcat Falls. Now, speaking as a dog owner, and I've spoken to many other dog owners about this, the vast majority of dogs, when they're hiking, if they need to go, or they will go within like a minute or two of getting out of the cars. So it's generally not a problem way out 2 miles away in the middle of the park. It's that first piece of trail.
First 20 yards, it's the poo-poo.
Yeah, I'd give it maybe 100 yards, but yes.
But, one other detail on this, I did ask the town if they had a strong feeling of which color scheme, you know, whether it be black letters on white or white letters on brown. And they provide some helpful information. They said, you know, the town uses the Manual of Uniform Traffic Control Divisions, MUTCD, which is a manual that spells all this out. They said, since this is a recreational or cultural interest sign, it probably is more appropriate that it be white letters on brown.
It would certainly fit in better.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know, what are people's feelings? Is 12 by 18 obnoxious?
That
Is this
that
not
seems,
something-
again, very
Yeah,
large.
that-
Seems
What-
pretty big.
What
Yeah.
are the standard signs that are like the no parking signs?
I think 12 by 18.
They don't seem 12 by 18 to me. I've never really walked up to one to look at it. Maybe I will in the parking
I
lot
mean,
outside.
I mean, you know what it says, but you can read it from here, but I mean, if a sign just this big would be big.
Right, and 12 by 18 is more than twice that.
Right, this is, 8.5 by 11.
Mhm.
So
Twelve by 11.5 by 8.
you're talking 12 by
Yeah.
18, you're,
It's two of those together, and that
Yeah.
seems
This wide.
way too
Yeah.
obnoxious.
Too loud?
Yeah, I agree.
because the concept and, why we've always had this battle going on of how much signage is too much. You're in the woods.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Do you really want to see trash nailed to the trees? So it's always been this kind of ongoing.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, this has become such a problem, we need to do something fairly aggressive, but if 12 by 18 is too big, I'd be willing to
Yeah.
see it scaled down, but unfortunately, this has gotten to the point
Yep.
where
I-
a
We've-
kiosk flyer isn't doing it for us.
Yeah,
I think it should probably be about the same size as like a no parking sign, which is probably about the size of one of those things printed on there right now.
I think if no parking sign is 12 by 18.
Really?
Yeah.
That seems big.
That's big.
It
That's
seems
very
big.
big.
It's on a big post.
ComDev would know.
Yeah.
Because mostly it's a matter of how far away
well,
you want it to
they
be read
quoted you
from.
these?
Yeah.
What's that, and they quoted,
That's 12 by 18.
yeah.
It doesn't look all that big. It's on.
It's got the aggressive white and brown though,
They
not
would-
brown and white.
You know, these are in Greenfield Farm. You know where it is, right
Yeah.
up the road from me. And they don't have a lot of them out. But it's, there's one in the parking lot, there's two near the soccer field.
In
They
the
probably have
parking
6 in
lot,
the
I
whole
can
place.
see it, but maybe if we're putting some on posts that are out on the trails, they could be a little smaller and less obtrusive, maybe half that size.
Yeah, maybe yeah, a good idea, at the trailhead,
Mhm.
the large ones.
At the trailhead, I mean, at that entrance
Yeah.
walkways, like, immediately down going into
That's
Yeah.
12 by
into
18.
Horse Hill, the first
Pretty much.
start of the school loop.
One at the cul-de-sac in BB Lane,
Yeah.
one at the,
Right.
one near the kiosk.
Yeah,
I think that's darn close to
And that's a
that.
kiosk that you
12 by
could,
18 is like the size of this monitor.
yeah.
We were just figuring that out.
Yeah, but if you put this monitor on a post, it wouldn't seem, I don't think it seems big.
Well, if it's a post in a parking lot, the scale of a parking lot is different. If you're on a trail walking by it 3 feet away, I
Yeah.
think that's just, yeah.
So do we want to, I can certainly ask if they have a smaller version. We could purchase a few of these now and put them up and see if we want to go back to the well and order more.
This sounds like it's something that's in stock, so it wouldn't be a special order.
It's in, he said 12 by 18 is a standard size, so yes,
Okay.
they have them. They have them in brown, they have them in white. The only thing that they had limited quantities of were the posts, and the posts were pretty expensive.
Are just green?
These are the metal posts, you can get
Yeah.
them at Home Depot for $5. They're
Yeah.
probably $8 now.
The ones they used are the kind you'd,
Yeah, they're pretty beefy.
robust.
Yeah.
In fact, I think when he quoted how much each post weighs. I mean, that's, I guess,
Yeah.
the way you,
Well, I've lifted the ones at Home Depot, I was gonna do some work with them, and they're 10 pounds. They're big things, they're 6 feet tall, and they're this wide, and they certainly look like the standard ones you'd see on the road.
anyone have a strong feeling? What would we
Well, I mean,
like?
I mean, it's, Andrew said it right. I think once you get into the trail and you're walking, I don't think it needs to be 12 by 18, but, you know, up at the parking area, up at the kiosk, maybe it could be a little bit bold,
Mm-hmm,
you know, to let people know,
yeah,
you know, there's no excuse for, oh, I didn't see it. Yeah.
mm-hmm,
So as a suggestion, in all the parks except Wildcat Falls, would be to physically put it in the middle of the trail, not off on the side, but in the middle of the trail where they see it as they walk towards it and then have to step around it. We can't do that at Wildcat Falls because the main trail entrance is a road that DPW uses.
Well, so is Gateway.
mm-hmm.
But we
Yeah,
could
the
put it on
school-
the gate
Yeah,
that's
let's-
right
yeah, we
there.
can put it, we can
Yeah.
put it on the gate.
Or if we bought 2 for each parcel and gave them to the subcommittee and asked them to make that
With some
decision.
guidelines, yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
So it'd probably be the easiest place, would probably be the school parcel and then BB Lane.
Mm-hmm.
And as a related topic, have we ever thought about or discussed putting in bag dispensers? Some
Yes.
parks have them, some
Yeah.
parks love them, some parks hate them.
Yeah, we have. And then you
And-
have to put in trash barrels.
Mm-hmm.
And then you have to schedule a time to have them, get them, like, then you have
And
to
I
keep
know we
them
took the trash barrels out.
Exactly, so it became
Okay.
this,
I
Mhm.
assumed that was the answer,
Yeah.
but I wanted to make sure.
I mean, obviously, we can talk about it again, because that was, I mean, again, that was a decision we made
Mm-hmm.
as a commission. It wasn't anyone's own decision, but yes, we have discussed it ad nauseam,
Mm-hmm.
so.
Do we want to do anything on these signs?
How many was that quote for? Up to 20.
Yeah, so they're $22 a piece. There's no minimum order amount. I
No.
think the place is in Nashua or it's somewhere near here, so we wouldn't need to get them delivered. One of us could go down.
So we'd
Pick
just
'em
be
up.
talking 2 per property,
Mm-hmm.
so 2, do we need 2 at Scalar? You only get one, really only one way in.
All right, Wildcat Falls has the one main entrance, and they also have the entrance down by Merrill's Marauder.
Do you have problems with that?
We
I
don't
would
generally
think-
see much waste down
Yeah, I
there,
would
it's
think
all
the
from
dogs
the
are-
main parking
Dogs are
lot.
pretty much done their business by the time they get to that point.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
You know, Greater Woods definitely can have 2, you got, you know, both ends of the, well, probably 3. Horse Hill really is one main
Horse Hill, we can
entrance.
do Amherst Road and either Old
Yeah, you
Kings
get the
Road
two.
or the quarry, where the quarry trail comes out.
Mhm. Our
But you know what?
kiosk at Wasserman, it doesn't have a lot in it. It could definitely, there's definitely room for one of these signs in that kiosk.
I wonder if, as long as the people here familiar with subcommittees know that you can use at least 2, it would not hurt to order
Yep.
2 times whatever and have them around, because we know at a minimum those would get used.
Mm-hmm.
and
And
if
you-
we
you
had
know,
a
some are
spare, I
gonna-
don't
some are
think
gonna
we'd
get
have
broken.
trouble finding
Hmm?
someone
gonna get
to
broken.
use it.
Yeah.
Some are gonna be targets.
Oh,
some
yeah,
are
they'll
gonna
be targets.
Okay. But we should also inquire about, like half-size signs or three-quarter
Mhm.
size signs for the inners. Because I know, 90% of the problem we see in Wildcat Falls is 20 yards from the gate to about 100 or 150 yards from the gate. So, and we have a small picnic table area, it would be nice to put a sign up there, that's about 50 yards down.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanna be cautious of putting up too much signage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just looks commercial.
Mm-hmm. You don't feel like you're in the woods anymore.
Yeah.
So neon is right out.
I mean, not that I'm saying put up towards signs, but since the signs are better off being put up, near the entrances, because that's where dogs do most of their business, it's not like it's gonna be disturbing the woods that much, because we're probably gonna be within sight of the parking lot where those signs are gonna be up. So I don't think it's not like we're putting it in the middle of the woods.
So what is that number that we came up with? Was it 12? You were counting on your
Yeah, so
fingers
we-
for a while.
So we got 3, you said you 2 at,
We really, I guess, only need one of the
One?
big signs for the entrance.
and Horse Hill, you're gonna do,
Let's see how one goes, because I think 80% of the dogs that come in on Amherst Road.
so we're down to like, you don't need anything at Gilmore, you don't need anything, we need one at Scalar, so you're at 5. And if we had 10 of them, we'd have a
Mhm.
plenty for now.
Yep.
But now that just means someone's storing them.
Yeah,
Or we could put them in the bathroom downstairs,
in the bathroom. They'll fit in the
in
bathroom.
in the storage room.
Please clean up after
10,
yourself.
and how many posts do we think?
Well, some are probably gonna have to go on the gate
Mhm.
posts. We'd want one for Wildcat, right? That's gonna have to go on a post, you're not gonna put that in the kiosk.
We'll put a smaller one on the post, but I think the bigger one might end up going on the gate or on one of the
Oh, on the
gate
gate, yeah,
posts
we could
by
do
the
We
side.
could do the gate, because we
Mhm.
have the gate at the front of,
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Greater Woods. We'd have to have a post for
BB
BB
Lane.
Lane.
On Greater Woods, would you put one, up by the field and then another one
Yeah,
down by
that's
the
what I was
kiosk?
saying, yeah, I'd say, I put one
Yeah.
on that gate going up to the field,
Yeah.
because people walk up there and
Yeah.
across to get the gateway, but then
Okay,
put one down on the bottom going into the school loop,
okay.
Yeah.
and then one over on BB Lane.
Okay.
So I'm curious about the posts they're selling, which they charge $66 for. I have seen the equivalent, like 6 or 7 foot posts at Home Depot, and they're like under 10, I think, maybe 10 or 15 by now. But 66, I don't know if there's something special about these posts, but
Nope.
that seems
I mean,
pricey.
Because think about it, I mean, I know for Greater Woods, those are gonna have to be hammered in, you're not
Yeah.
Those, they need to be sledgehammered in.
yeah, well, yeah, that's what I'm saying, like, 'cause
The heavier duty posts.
well,
you
no,
think?
like, so the kiosk that's going into the school
Yeah.
loop, that took Andy and I a good part of a day to dig those 2 holes. It was just rock.
Yeah.
I mean, the hole we had to dig was so big to get the rocks out, so we could just get into the point where we could get 2 holes. I mean, we were up there for a good chunk of the day.
So
Can
maybe we
just-
do want these heavier duty posts.
So I'm just saying, they're gonna have to be hammered in, and they're, they're
Yeah.
gonna hit something.
So,
I just don't know, I don't know what these posts are, I
So
don't know.
the
what
one
those-
designed for your garden is not designed
Yeah,
to be
no.
pounded through stone.
No,
so there is a garden 7-foot one at Lowe's, and it's $11. It's made of powder coated metal.
garden.
And I know that they've seen, and they have smaller ones for a little bit less. And I know I had seen one that was much beefier and had huge wings on the side to hold it steady, and that was probably like $12.
We'd want something heavy and sturdy enough to hold a 12 by 18 metal sign, so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, I think a 7-footer, if you pound that a foot into the ground, it's 6 feet tall, and you got a
that's
foot and
gonna
a
have
half
to go,
on it.
it's gonna have to go in more than a foot.
Mm-hmm.
Alright.
Cause think about, I mean, every kid who walks by, it's gonna be
Yeah.
Well, we can electrify them.
I'm assuming the post is a 4x4.
no, these are metal,
Oh,
those
okay.
metal U
Yeah.
posts, you
Oh,
know, that
okay,
they're pounding.
yeah, okay, okay.
Let me see one
Yeah.
out the window somewhere.
Sorry, yeah.
So, I don't know, I mean, either that or we get something square like Unistrut and pound them in that way,
Mm-hmm.
cause those,
So
you
how
can get,
many are we up to right now for?
10 signs? Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think,
we have a couple of gates they can go on, so that's gonna get a couple of them up, and posts are gonna have to be, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and it's got a good, you know, it's interesting, just put them in the middle of the trail, it's kind of an interesting thought. But where can we do it, cause you can't, you're driving into Gateway, you're driving in School Loop, you're driving into,
Mm-hmm.
So if we were to do a
Wildcat.
motion for this, what we could say is that it's 22 for a sign, 66 for a post, so that's 88 for a set. What we could do is move to spend an amount not to exceed
Mhm.
whatever, and then have that available for the project, or we can defer a motion until we have something more solid,
Oh.
but we need to move on.
The green button.
Ah, sorry.
say that all again?
But we can make a motion right now to, you know, say $880, that's 10 signs, 10 posts, an amount not to exceed that. Or we
Mhm.
can defer this until another meeting, but I think we know we want the signs.
I'm assuming this comes with the whole hardware and everything too?
Mm-hmm.
Just a couple of bolts.
That's a, yeah, but
But if we move for an amount not to exceed, then this can move forward. Right now,
Mhm.
okay.
right now, we're still talking.
And we could place the sign order, the order for the signs
Right.
tomorrow,
Yep.
and revisit the post need.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds
and then
good.
if someone needs, if we have the not to exceed, if somebody needs to run down to Reed's Ferry and grab a bag of bolts to put them up.
Yeah, so what we wanna avoid is that probably, cause it gets hard to pay for it. If we're gonna buy posts, we should communicate, you know, the funding will be approved, but we should consolidate that request so that there's only one or as few
Minimum
transactions.
transactions possible.
Yeah.
So is there a possibility we can buy these installed from DPW? They must install posts all the time for signs. They probably have a good supply of them, they probably know what they need, and they probably have them in stock.
We can ask,
Yeah,
And they probably have the equipment to do it.
And if
The
they don't-
pounder thing to pound it in is $100.
no, I have one, so,
do you have a post pounder,
well, it's manual, you still gotta,
Yeah,
like a big tube?
yeah.
Yeah. Why would
You
anyone
don't?
have one of those?
They come in useful
You've
form.
got everything.
Gage, I may need to borrow that at some point.
Okay, someone wanna make a motion?
I'll make a motion to, purchase signs and potentially, posts for some of 800 and, what was it, what'd you say, 888? 880?
Not to
Not to
exceed.
exceed 880, out of Fund 53.
Motion by
Second.
Gage, second by Andrew. Does anyone need further discussion on this? No? Okay, all those in favor? Motion carries 6-0.
In the interim, we're gonna talk to DPW to see if they can, something they can install.
Yeah, let me put that on my list. All right, Merrill's Marauder Bridge update, this was just short, the town shared with me, there has been some success at Merrill's Marauder Bridge. It's not great news, but it's good news. That is on the state's 10-year plan to replace that. The year that it's currently scheduled for is 2032. So, it's good that at least it made it to a 10-year plan.
Wow.
This is the pedestrian bridge?
Yeah, I mean, and certainly, the way it was explained to me is that, you know, if there's an opportunity to move that forward, certainly,
Right.
you know, the town would lobby to do that, but, this is that pedestrian bridge.
Is there any chance we could suggest they move it? We have a plan at Wildcat Falls.
It's in
Yeah,
pretty bad shape.
Noted. Appointed official training, the only other item here, so this came from the New Hampshire, or it's being presented by, or put on by the New Hampshire Municipal Association. This is appointed and elected official training, but, you know, we're all appointed, so if someone was interested in going to this, it's on May 7th. I think that's a Tuesday, May 7th, it's 9 AM to 4:30 PM. The training's gonna be conducted at 25 Triangle Park Drive in Concord. I guess that's part of the State Plaza over near the old State Hospital, I think. There's a maximum number of 70 in-person participants, and if you're interested, let me know and I'll get you the registration information. There's also a virtual component of this, so if you wanted to participate virtually, you could do that also. And that is everything under other business, so that brings us to the approval of the minutes.
I move that we accept the minutes of the Conservation Commission meeting of March 11th, the draft minutes, with the following corrections. And I have one on page 2.
Motion by Ellen, I'll
Yeah.
second it.
Thank you, sorry about that.
That's all right.
Page 2, line 72, the email address for anyone wanting information about the Sauhegan River Watershed Council, cross off Eric Doberstein at, the proper email is sauhegan.river.monitoring@gmail.com for anyone who's interested.
Is that it?
I'll just add, 2 lines above that, page 2, line 70, volunteers take samples instead of sample.
Thank you.
And also, there should be a space between an E. coli, there should be a space after the period. Below that, line 71.
Line 71, okay. Anyone else? Okay, motion, or motion to approve, or vote to approve the minutes as amended, all in favor? Motion carries 4-0.
I abstain.
Andrew and Karis abstain. Who would like to make a final motion?
I move to adjourn.
Second?
Motion by Andrew, seconded by Gage. All in favor? Motion carries 6-0. Thank you, and have a good night.